here, like I'm gonna repeat it again, but we're gonna do like small beginner tools that are not Unity or Unreal Engine, like not the big engines that are popular. We're gonna give more like introductory tools. Are we live? Hello, welcome to
Yes.
the stream. Yes, we're gonna give like a workshop on smaller tools. Uh, so I'm gonna be talking about Twine, and Rose, you're gonna be going through.
I'll do so there's like Construct 3,
Mhm.
Gamemaker and Bitsy.
Bitsy,
But
okay.
if maybe we could look at other ones if we feel adventurous. There's a
Yes.
bunch. There's a lot.
I started looking at some other ones, but the one I'm more comfortable with is Twine. Well, I've used it only once, so like even my knowledge of it is limited, but I know it can do a lot of really cool things. So I'll just share what I know.
Here's a website. This is like the Pixels group.
Yes.
So there's like they have a bunch of
Resource.
resources of game making tools that you could like kind of explore, and some are easier than others.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna cover a couple of them. So yeah.
We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Tiffany could share your screen if
Yes.
you want
Let me
to
know if you can
explain
see.
Twine.
Yes. Can you guys see? What's that happening?
Yeah, I think I could see.
Can you guys see me? Can you still hear me?
I wouldn't go. Don't go live.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
share
What's
the
it?
screen. I think.
Okay. I only have one option though. Hold on. I only have one. Let me see. I only have one option though.
Okay, just
It,
okay.
it,
Never mind. Just go live, and it's fine.
okay. Is
There you
this
go.
okay?
Yes.
Can see me. If someone can see me. Okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. So this was the example I was gonna show, but like if you go on Twine, you can download. Twine is a text-based open source for interactive, like it says here, like for interactive story. So it's a good way to like do like visual novel but game versions, so like gamified visual novel in a way, and it embeds a lot of like css and html. If some of you already know how to use how to code for websites and stuff,
Yeah.
it embeds a lot of like javascript, html and css code into its own platform, so you can
Yeah.
use it. So you
If you
can
have
download the.
experience, if you have
Mhm.
experience with web development, this is a perfect segue
Right.
to gaming.
Yes, yes, thank you. You can so you can download here, like you have like the Linux, like the different versions here, or you can use it online. That's what I like wanted to show. If you use it online, this is where my basically it's this. You get to here, and then you can start a new story, or you can import existing stories. I'm just gonna show you the example like I was practicing. This is what I'm gonna show you guys how to do, and we're just gonna play through it really quick. So like this is the example, and then you're gonna see like you can write a lot of stories. So like you write text based stuff, and then you can also input like the next passage. So like where do you want the player as a character, like where do you want to go next? So you can select like do you want to read a book or do you want to order a coffee, etc., etc. So that's kind of what it's gonna look like overall. Um, Here, so we're gonna go back to home, and then let's open a new story. I'm gonna call this, I don't know, coffee, because that's the example I've been practicing. So we're gonna talk about coffee. And then when you start you have this is where your workspace is, and you have the entitled passage. This thing has a green logo here, as you can see, and this is when you're gonna load this game. This is the first page it's gonna show. Like if think of it as an interactive book, this is the cover page of what you're gonna see. So we're gonna edit. Wait, actually, here you can delete it. Well, don't delete it. You can edit it. You can test the story starting here, and then you can also uh, make it like wider. So if you write stuff in here, you can see like
You could
more
add more
information
text.
or
Yeah.
less. Yes. I'm gonna edit this, and then you can give it a name. So I don't know. I'm gonna call this welcome page, and then you can start writing. So I was saying you are at Tim Hortons.
Tim's Hortons.
You are Tim Hortons, and then it's like you decide to, and then actually before that, if you don't write anything, you're gonna see here it actually gives you a bunch of like shortcuts. So it's kind of like do this if you want to type in bold and italic. It's pretty useful. And this is like if you want to link from one page to another page, like one step to the next step. These are different ways you can write it. And then Twine is also really cool because it has things such as macros and variables. And then it's kind of like coding. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean more by that. And then it has even more advanced stuff such as hooks. And then if you guys want the documentation, it's going to be around here. You're going to click change story format. And actually Twine supports like 7 or 8 type of different ways of writing. So I'm using Harlow 3.1.0, and then you can look at the documentation. Like this is where you can see like if you want to use variables, what is a variable? What does it do? How would you declare a variable? This is how you would declare it. You can use it inside the text, etc. And then more how to add HTML, etc., etc. Right, so we're actually going to start. So you are at Tim Hortons. Side two, and then to make a link, it's double brackets. You're going to double bracket, and then we're going to tell him to buy coffee. Buy a coffee. And then you close brackets. So then you're going to see this highlighted in blue, and that means that it's going to create a new passage after we exit out. Or no. What else do you do at a coffee shop? A study. Ugh, no one wants to study. Right, and then now you're gonna exit out, and you're gonna see. Oh, wait. Let me just collapse this. Too small. You're gonna see. Oh, now Twine automatically creates for you 2 more passages. And then you can like this is now like the next page, as if you flip to the next page of the book. It's like, okay, now you're here. Like you bought a coffee. You want to buy a coffee, and then I don't know, you decide to order a large double. Part of the text can be a link. So for example, here I'm going to make a large double, a link to the next passage. And you can reorganize this however, like the spider web, you can create it however you want to. And then let's say like I order a coffee and now I want to go back to the coffee, like let's change this to coffee shop because it's confusing. Coffee shop. So let's say like you order your large double and you want to go back to your coffee shop. There's like you can use the name coffee shop, or you can use you bought a coffee, or so you can hold on. You can say coffee shop under the double brackets. You're gonna see here. You can select this, and it's gonna link back. You're gonna see the arrow. It links back to the starting page where you started. Or the other way you could do this is you could say go back, and then arrow coffee shop. What this is gonna do is it's gonna show go back, the words go back, but it's actually gonna, and once you click on it, it's gonna bring you back to the coffee shop. So I'm gonna demonstrate here. You can press play here to test it, and then it's gonna say you're at Tim Hortons. You decide to buy a coffee. You decide to order a large double, and then you bought the coffee. And then instead of the words coffee shop, you're gonna see go back now, and now you're back to you are at Tim Hortons. Is it okay up till now? Is it clear?
Yeah, I think so.
Now this is how we're gonna make it cooler.
I could see how you could do like a visual. Someone mentioned
Novel.
that you could use this with like you could add audio and video. You could make like if it would be fun to do a game. Obviously we can't really do this like online, but like if in person you could do like video and kind of like do kind of a movie, an interactive movie, and use the videos as the narrative. Kind of like what is that like Black Mirror episode that was on Netflix? Bandersnatch kind of thing. It was like an episode where you chose the decisions of the character.
And then it would that's interesting. Yeah, that's something you guys could definitely do. It does. If you click here, you can see it has like JavaScript. And then style sheet, so CSS does support like the formats that are typically the elements that support like websites building. So you could definitely put, if you can put videos on website, you can definitely check if you can put videos on here. I'm gonna spice it up a bit. We're gonna try to make it a little cooler. So now I'm gonna add a macro. So I'm gonna to declare, quote unquote, if in coding terms, a variable, you can use the term set, and then I'm gonna call this the coffee, and then I'm gonna say Twine is actually really smart in terms of knowing what type of variable it is. So if you say coffee is bought, Twine will know that this is a string. If you say coffee is 0, it's gonna know that this is a int in a way. It's gonna be able to determine what type of variable you're saying. It's pretty smart. So I'm gonna say the coffee is bought because I bought a coffee, and then now, let's say you bought the coffee, and then now here, what I'm gonna do is I can call that. It's basically gonna store this variable in some sort of location. I do not know, but it's able to fetch this location. It's able to fetch this variable at other locations. Is what I'm trying to say. So now you can do your if-else statement just as in coding, and you can say if is bought. For if statements, you have to put this in an extra bracket. Like you have to put it in a bracket here, because if you do not do that, it's not going to be able to know that this is what's, like, basically just like when you write code, you have like this and this, these curly brackets inside your coding. Well, in Twine, it's these instead. And then you can say like you have
Normal
a
brackets.
coffee. Yes, normal brackets in your hands. And then you can put double brackets to do another path. So do you want to drink it? And then drink it, you can bring them to another page. See, aha, we have a drink it. And then keep editing. I'm gonna go like fast forward a little bit, like you drank the coffee, and here you can set coffee to drank. Go back, it's no longer gonna print that statement, because if you go back here, hold on, let me see. I need to set a link, and then now you need to set a link. Go back, and then coffee shop. Now, if you see, there's this arrow, so you can like go back and forth. But now, if you set your coffee to drank, once you get back here, because coffee is no longer bought, this you're gonna see that this expression is no longer there. So we can just test it really quickly. So I'm at Tim's. We're gonna do this like maybe 5 times, guys. So sorry in advance. So you bought a coffee. That should be 2. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I made a mistake in my writing. And also it's really useful because it has a debug view, and it will also tell you like, oh, you messed up. Like this is not the right code, or you're not writing it correctly. So here it's set coffee 2.
You have to put in drink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's good.
Yeah, so set 2, my bad. You have to set in 2, not is. Is when you're checking with the if else. So yeah, okay, let's do this again. Here. So now you're gonna buy the coffee, and here you can see it knows that the string coffee is a string, basically. By a large double, you bought the coffee. Now, you have a coffee. Now it pops out this one, and then this is how you could create like more passages and more complex loops, if you will, of stories. So you can make the character go through different passages and then come back with new items, and then you can unlock a new secret passage that way. So now you're going to drink it, and then you drank the coffee, and now you can go back. And then now you see that statement's gone. So that means it's kind of like, yum, 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 they drank the coffee, and it's gone now. They don't have a coffee anymore. Right. I also wanted to show you could also do, like, so for example, an example of a more complex loop. What was I trying to say? So I was doing this testing where I was writing set number of coffees. So I want this person to drink 3 coffees and then discover a secret passage, and then they become really high. I don't know,
Make
but
it
they're high on
2.
coffee. Two, yes, 2. We'll make it faster. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm gonna set number coffee to 0. But the problem with this is, and you guys will see in a bit, is because if every time you reload this page, this set is gonna be like this num coffee is gonna be reset to 0. So even if let's say I increment the number of coffees here, so you drank a coffee, and I'm gonna say set coffee to, and then for increment you cannot do plus plus because twine does not do that. You have to do coffee plus 1.
You wrote
You just
num
got to.
coffee with
Oh,
3s.
sorry. Thank you, Rose. But yes, num coffee to num coffee plus 1. But the problem is every time you go back, num coffee is going to be reset to 0. So if, let's say, I don't know, if I do an if statement, it's not going to work. Num coffee is 2. You are high on coffee. And then secret passage. I'm not trying to promote coffee, guys. Please stay healthy during the game jam. But yes, you're high on coffee, and then you can have a secret passage. But here the issue is you're gonna see is you're never gonna get there. And then you have a secret passage here. So like, okay, reload. Okay, buy a coffee, large double double, and then we can see down here, and then we're gonna drink it. Now the number of coffee we drank is 1. We're gonna go back. We're gonna buy another coffee.
Well, now it's
You're gonna
0
order a
again.
large. Yes, because every time we get back to this page, it resets it to 0 because it's on top of here of our coffee, like our main page, basically. So the solution I found is this is where we use this green button here and we create another entitled passage. And then I thought of it, like I set it here. Like this is like the pre-story before the story happens. This is just like preset. You just, to make sure it's connected to the coffee shop, you just call coffee shop and you just link it. However, it does not affect your game because, like I said, the green button, once you publish to file, like it's always going to launch from here. It's kind of like the index page of your website, if you will. So it doesn't really affect anything. So now we should be seeing 2. Let's just try this again. Order a large double double, and then you drink it, and then I see number 1, and then you go back, and then I want a second coffee, another large double double, and then you drink it again, and then now number 2, and then now the now you unlock the secret passage because you're higher on coffee, basically. And then this is how, like I said, you can create more complex loop, and the player can get to experience like, oh, there's a secret passageway, and they get to like go through different pathways. This is where like it gets more interesting because Twine seems very simple. Yeah,
it gets exciting when there's like
yes.
Oh wait, there's like, where was this before, you know?
Right, and you will see like, oh, I didn't know there was this new option, and then this is how you can create a lot of different pathways and cross pathways too as well. And the last thing I just wanted to show is really quick. It was just a little bit of
Hello? I think you you're like lagging out a little bit.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you still hear me?
Okay, you're back.
Yes? Are we?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Last thing I just wanted to show is like, because there's so much like JavaScript and style sheet, and there's like a lot you can do. It seems really simple, but you can expand this platform to make like there's a lot of very good Twine games on itch.io. If you guys want to check them out, there's like a whole page of them of pre-existing games. I just wanted to show like you wanted to like add a background. Like I was just gonna show like an example of adding background. Let's say we want to add like I already prepared the coffee shop background, but if you wanted like to add a background here, one way you could do it is using tags. So tags is kind of similar, like you guys we just saw in the Unity tutorial in a way. It's similar. Think of it more as an ID for HTML coding. If people who do HTML, you guys might know, it's It's very similar to an ID. I'm gonna call this. I don't know. I'm gonna call this coffee shop. And then so if you tag this, then in your style sheet here you can call that tag specifically, and whatever's on this page, you can show whatever. You can do changes to this specific page. So I'm gonna, let's say for example, I'm gonna add this background. So I'm gonna go to the style sheet, and I'm gonna call the specific tag that I just put. And then this is where it kind of, this code that I'm writing right now, you're just gonna have to you're just gonna have to reference the documentation. It's really simple. It's not too hard, but you would need to reference the documentation. Make sure you have the right syntax. That's all. And then this is where it resembles a lot of ACSS style sheet. So then you would do the URL, and then you would do picture. Make sure it's the link where the picture is. So not like not just like the Google link. Like make sure it's where the link like the picture is residing, the physical place the picture is at. And then I do background. Yeah, because otherwise it's not gonna work.
If you save this on a computer, can you use like a image that you have in a folder?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The only thing is, if you are to publish, I'll show you in a bit, but if you were to publish, because you're going to have to publish to file, and what it does is it creates the HTML, it gives you an HTML, like, what am I saying, page, right? And so if you put this, let's say in a folder, like my web game, I don't know, web game. I have no idea for names, guys. And then you put here, right? And then you have the image folder. Then just make sure you put just like any HTML. Think of it as a website design.
Yeah.
Right. And then just make sure the image is here, and make sure you're able to call the reference from the from here to there. Just make sure there's a reference. That's all. Then so now if we open. Oh no, we don't have a background. Hold on.
You didn't do brackets. I mean semicolon, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Background size. There we go. Now we should have a background. So yeah, this is really simple. You can put music. You can put maybe a video. So there's more you can do with this, and you can make it a lot more alive as a interactive game. But yes, and then make sure after that you publish the file like I just did. And once you've published it to file, you can open it. Where's my there? You can open it from anywhere, right? It's just like an HTML page.
I think
obviously for now I didn't save the I didn't save the picture, but we can redo it. And then now you open this one, and then now it will be saved. And your audio, if you're doing audio or video, I do suggest, just like Rose mentioned, to put them locally. So because the audio will not play if you put video. I'm not sure for video, but audio, it will not play until you publish the file. So it's normal if you put I don't know, you put an audio tag. You put an audio tag, and then all of a sudden you're like, why is it not run? Nothing's running. Blah blah blah. Nothing's running. It's because it has to publish the file. Right. So that's all of my expertise on toying. Is there any question? I'll do my best to answer them. Bro 1, Bro 2, Bro. Yeah, that's a good naming too. But yes, is there any specific questions? Otherwise, you can also you can download the application. I tried it. It looks exactly the same. It looks exactly well, almost the same, I guess, like this. And then this is this. I guess this was a demo I did long time ago, but just to show how it could look, I guess. This is, for example, you can put a really nice anime background and make it and you can also have user input, and then so mine is a very what is it called, tragic, sad, emotional story. But yes, you can do what kind of story you want, and then you can make it more story based, more interactive based, depending on what you want to go for.
Can you show the size of the twine project you have? The number
size?
of nodes, I guess.
Right. But this is like a
this
really
is
long one. Like
yeah.
the um, I wrote this based off of a story I read. So like that story has like 16 chapters. So like see, this is chapter 1, and then you read through it, and then you read through chapter 2, and then you can keep going until you read chapter 3. Like it can be really complex.
Yeah.
And you can make it very, mine is more linear, but you can make it also like bounce or loop around, like the coffee one I did. You can make it like more like loopy like this too. That works too.
That's really
I have
cool.
questions. Yeah, it is. Highly recommend if you guys want to try your own not visual novel story. Highly recommend the tool. I have like all this opened. Okay. But yes.
So I guess I could move on. I don't really have as much
Yes.
experience with like other tools, but it's why not like show other things just to get them out there, and maybe you could explore them on your own. So the first one I'm gonna do is like really really beginner level and really easy to learn. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Bitsy,
Yes.
and basically this is like the easiest way to do like a quick little game.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get rid of this. I was just like playing with it earlier. How do I make a new project? Maybe if I just delete these.
Sorry, Rose. My computer is not loading. I can't see your screen, but I'll help you out as soon as I can
Are you
see it.
guys able to see my screen? Wait.
Might just be me.
It might be me. Wait, give me a second.
Okay.
Can you guys see? Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna get rid of these things.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know how to get rid of them. Good job. Okay. So basically, this this tool, it's you could have like you could. It's just like a pixel art kind of little mini game that you could do, and
Mm-hmm.
it's also more like story based, and you could like do it's very simplistic, but basically you could do like a character here. So like you could do a cat or something. Looks more like a rabbit. Anyways,
Nice animal.
yeah, and you could like change the background image,
Mm-hmm.
colors, and you could change tiles. These are supposed to be trees, but I'm not really. It keeps trying to change the background image. This is the tile color, so I don't know if I want everything to be blue.
Blue trees.
Maybe it could be like water.
Oh yes, it could be water.
I don't know. I'm trying to fill it in.
Oh, it kind of looks like water though. Like kind of.
Like that. Okay, so that's like water. And you could do extra sprites. So this is like a cat. And if you like interact with it, it will like you could add dialogue to it. And you could you could add more sprites. You're not limited to just one. You could have like it's kind of hard to draw. You could have like
Yeah, it's more like pixel art in a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like a mug like that. like a wine glass. Okay, and there's also like items that you could add and stuff like that. Okay, and so you could I didn't really spend too much time on this, but basically,
It's okay.
If you press play, you could there's like the dialogue when you enter the game, and you can move around your character. Right now, there's only one room, so like if I exit it, it will like crash the game. But you could add new rooms. Oop. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to add some tiles, and let's say this is a new room. You could these are hidden. Excuse me. Where did I get the option for the exits and enters?
Is it the pop-up beside the ending and exit?
The pop-up.
Is there, maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
So here you could like add exits and so you just add a plus exit, and you could put it here, and it will show up on the other room, and you just position it to the corresponding position. And when you play the game, I think I accidentally deleted my character. There you go. Wait, let me just add the sprites here that we had. Oh, I accidentally changed my cat into a mug. Oh god.
Oh no.
Okay, let me make it look like a cat again. Close enough.
Good. very, it's very
okay.
Good.
Yeah, then I could add the cat, and I could add this item. Find a nice cup of tea. And then when I press play, if I interact with the cat, it will like add some text.
The cat is telling you to not drink too much.
Yeah. and here like the cup of tea disappeared because there's like an animation here that's kind of weird, but it's added to your inventory. And there's the exit that I just showed here. It allows you to go in different sections of the map. And so if I go here, item, inventory. I don't know what A42 is, but I'm assuming this is a way for you to check how many. I wish I explored this a little bit more. But wait.
It's okay.
I guess here, yeah, it will increment the T. I think it does it automatically. So
right.
Yeah. Anyways, this is just like an easy, like interactive way you could do like a pixelated game, and it's more kind of text based as well. Like you can't do any like crazy things with this, but if you want to do like a story based game, you could use this, and yeah.
I've seen people use Bitsy to do maybe like dungeon crawler, but like really like simple dungeon crawlers type of game where it's like you crawl around and you like pick up stuff, and then you can unlock doors. I think you can set conditions and stuff, and you can like unlock a certain door and then enter another room.
Yeah, I'm sure you could do that. It's more dungeon crawler
story
sort of
type of.
game. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I could move on to construct 3.
Yes, the more
So
complex one.
yeah, slightly more complex. So here I need a new project, but I'll see if I could make a new one. Yeah, new. Call it test. I don't really care about the settings here. I'll save it on Google Drive, I guess. I didn't want to save it. Oh, it's asking me to save it because I'm leaving. All right, there you go. So here, in Construct 3, it's a game engine that's like really, really beginner level as well. So, for example, you could left click to add. Excuse me, it might have been. New object here.
Yes.
Oh no, it was left click. And here you could add sprite.
Sprite.
And you just click on wherever. And here you could. I mean, I don't really have any pictures or anything, but you could add a sprite. And.
You can also draw your own, I think, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to do that right now. So I'm just gonna fill it in and. Let me change the color.
Change the color.
And okay, that's fine. And then you could just press X, and you have a new tile. And on here you could add behavior.
Right.
So if this is like our character, for example, you're gonna add behavior. This is kind of similar to Unity, where like you would add like movement and like you would add things to the update. So so if this is our character, for example, we could have there's
You have like platforms.
I don't want platform. I want 8 direction, for example. Right. There you go. And I add solid. So that's kind of like saying it's like a
rigid.
Rigid body. And I think that's okay for now. Yeah, there you go. And here on I think if I play, it will it uses the arrow keys. So just by adding like the behavior that I showed with the 8 direction, like so like Unity, you had to kind of like code like you know, horizontal, vertical, like the inputs and whatnot. But here it's just like add a behavior and it'll like do it automatically for you. It's just like it's pretty cool. And you could add like things that you could interact with as well. So like a sprite. I'll fill it in. I keep forgetting like the tools are on the left here. And you could also change the colliders with the little triangle at the bottom here. And you could kind of like shape the whatever you're looking for. And I think if you... There's a way of adding more like subdivisions here, but I forgot how to do it. But I'm sure you could Google it. So yeah, in here I added a collider, and I don't know if it's gonna work if I just... Okay, so now like since I didn't add the behavior solid to it, it just kind of goes through, and I just noticed that this is not even remotely close to the camera view. There you go. So if I click on this object and add a behavior, add solid to it, then at this point it will act like a collider.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. It gets stopped. So it's like blocking its way. And you could add like I guess there's ways of adding behaviors like it exploding or something, or it spawning something if you touch it. But I'm not really sure how. Here on the event sheet, this is where you kind of specify maybe more specifically different events. So here, this is like the previous project I had, but in system, basically it's basically updating it every frame. So like for example, the movement. Every tick. First, so there's system, and then you could choose the option like when do you want to update, or I guess there's like a bunch of other things that you could do with the system.
Yeah.
But yeah. And here, for example, it's updating the face direction of the character and the X and Y positions. So basically, every frame update the angle depending on the X and Y position of the mouse, which is defined here. So you could add more things. So like add event. For example, here I already had like mouse and system, but you could search for other things, I would assume. Or not. I'm horrible at this, and I should have practiced a little bit more, maybe. But yeah.
It's okay, but it's kind of like these tools kind of look simple, right? But you guys can really, there's a lot of hidden things inside them, I find. Like the event system here is like the event sheet, which is similar to the event system you would find in Unity. It's very similar in a way.
Yeah.
Similar logic, similar and also there's a lot of resources on, like we're just giving you like the basic preview because we had to look at all the different tools. But there's a lot more documentation and information online too. And it's not too hard to understand too. Like this is set up more user friendly than Unity. Like Unity is already pretty user friendly, but this is even more. I would find even more user friendly too.
Yeah. It's just that like I didn't really spend much time on it, unfortunately, because I'm more Unity user. But
the users.
I'm sure like you could find like you could do recreate a game that is equally good using this that you could do on Unity as well. And I think you just kind of have to understand what the different options on the left here and the event sheet, how that works and stuff. And yeah. I would say like Gamemaker is maybe a little bit more obvious when it comes to making a game. So like for example, you could do like drag and drop with it, which is gonna be a little bit more similar to like Construct 3, because here, as you saw, like I add a behavior and it kind of just does all of the calculation and everything like automatically. So like for Gamemaker, like there's drag and drop, which is kind of a little bit more similar to this and that aspect. But you could also do Gamemaker language, which is a little bit closer to Unity. And you can make a new project. And in this regard, it's very it's like kind of like a combination of Construct 3 and Unity. So like for example, adding new sprites, resources, create sprite. So this is actually pretty similar to the one we saw in Construct 3, and you could like Um, where's the painting tool? Where is it? Edit image. I did right click to edit image, and here I'm just gonna fill it in with one color. And
yay, pink! Yay!
And then we have a sprite. There you go. And maybe I want to do like another sprite, which is gonna be like the wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it blue, because why not? And there's the sprites that you've just created. They get listed here. And rooms is basically like in Unity the scenes. So if you like double click on room, it will show a new scene, and you could drag your sprite. Whoop. Select the layer does not accept the drag resources. Please select the appropriate layer type. Forgot what that means. Oh, I think I need to add it as an object first. So here you create object, and you choose a sprite that you want, and this will be like pink. And I'll do the same thing for the wall. I'll just call it wall. And it'll be blue. And maybe now it will let me add it. Or not. Ugh.
Object
I hate
panel,
when this happens. Huh?
Maybe from your object panel, like at on the right, like from under object.
Yeah, you might be right.
If
yeah,
you add that
there you
one,
go.
yes.
Perfect. So yeah, you could drag and drop the objects, and you could if you press Alt, you could no, it was Shift, I think. You could come on.
Yeah, to
There was
align
one
it.
button.
Yeah.
It was one button. I remember. Okay, yeah, it was Alt. You could kind of like build your level easily. And okay, but right now, like if I press play, it won't actually do anything. It's taking a little time to load. Like nothing's happening. There's no gravity. There's no like movement.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in the workspace, you could add an event, for example, and create will like basically add some code. And so here you could have maybe a you could have a file that's just like holding your variables, so like horizontal speed, vertical speed, gravity, which will be like 0.3, for example, and you could have wait, I think that's it for now. Okay. If I need to add something, I'll just like add it here later on. And you could also create I'll create another script. Hello? Doesn't let me. Why does it say only reference once? Okay. I thought I could create multiple scripts, but it's not letting me.
I think they're all combined in that one window.
What do you mean?
This is the create. Like, there's no other place to create it. Like, that's the only window you can create stuff.
Maybe.
I think.
Well, if so, I'll just paste like code that I already had prepared. So
yes.
in this case, like It's pretty similar to Unity, where you have like left, like a variable for your left movement, and that will be no, it's the left input. So it has like a function keyboard check, which and v virtual keyboard left, and then the input for the right button would be like the same function, keyboard check, virtual keyboard. Oh, these are the same thing by accident. Okay, this is right, and then key jump, like the jump input would be like the space button, and then to calculate the movement, it would just be like so every frame it would like update, and so that's why move would be like our variable here. Move would be this is wrong. So it's so key left and key right are either 0, 1, or -1, and actually move is 0, 1, -1. If the input for left is enabled, it would key left would equal 1, and if key right is enabled, key right would be 1. But so here it just calculates basically. Okay, so if you're doing the right movement, it would be 1 minus 0.
0.
So it would move in the right direction, like move would be equal to 1. But if you're going in the left direction, like minus x direction, so key right would be 0 and key left would be 1 from these inputs. So move would be -1, like 0 minus 1. And if you press both buttons at the same time, like if you're pressing the right button and the left button, and they're both, it would be 1 minus 1, which would be 0, so you wouldn't move at all. And so here's the variables I had before. Speed would be the variable we have here. So let's say we are going to the right, it'd be 1. And we just add it. I think this should be multiplied. So you just multiply it by the speed that we have. That's the other variable that I forgot. Walk speed. So if I put 4, I guess, I don't know. So yeah, it will multiply 1 or -1 by 4, and then speed. This is the vertical speed would be so this is horizontal speed and this is vertical speed. The horizontal speed is like the left and right movement, and then the vertical speed is just the gravity that I have defined here. And this is basically to check collisions. So I'm gonna skip this for now. For collisions, there's like a function called place meeting. So it just basically checks our object wall, which I defined here. If like the x coordinate on the in this scene plus the current movement that we're going towards. So if we're going like to the right, it would be like the x coordinate here plus the movement would be like a +4 because we're going towards the right. Hits the wall.
Right.
It would there's like a video that has this code, which I based myself on, that probably explains it a bit better than me. But it would just basically check that every frame, if it's like not overlapping this wall. This is what the wall is for. It's just checking like, oh, if it's 1 pixel away from it, while it's not 1 pixel away from it, just continue moving towards it, and if not, then just completely stop. And yeah, and then this x just updates the coordinate of our block on the scene. And then it's basically the same thing for Y, except everything is
vertical.
For the vertical
Yes.
vertical speed and Y coordinates. And so now I'm getting like some errors here, which is kind of odd. But what does it say? I forgot. Oh, I forgot some like a parentheses here, and I forgot one here as well. Okay, so now there's no more errors.
We're good.
And hopefully this works, but I don't know if it will, because... Okay, so it's like falling super slowly. So maybe I should...
Because gravity's at 0.3.
Yeah, maybe I should add it, like make it higher. I'll do it 1, maybe. And okay, well, yeah, I did something wrong for sure. Because from the video I based myself on, he had 2 codes for
okay.
Like he had one for the variables, and then he had one for this part. So I'm a little bit confused in that aspect.
Oh. We'll link the video then.
Yeah, I'll link the video.
Watch them for further reference.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I thought I could add multiple scripts, but it's not letting me whatsoever. So
it was on the same object?
Yeah, I think so.
Both on the pink one? Okay.
Yeah, it was. So I'm a little confused. Well, maybe...
It's all good. It's all good. It's okay.
Maybe it was step. Oh, yes. Okay. So, like before, in Construct 3, we had like, if you remember correctly, we had like a event sheet for like every step, which is basically updating every frame. There's a similar thing for Gamemaker where you have to create a step like that, which is something that would update every frame. So I'm just going to copy that there, and I think it should work now. Yeah, there you go. So now if I think the gravity is a little too high, but but if I'm like moving to the left and right, it's gonna work. And yeah, so you could in create where I had the variables, you could arrange your variables to work properly. I think 0.3 was a good one. And I think I forgot jump. I had a good jump speed. No, never mind. Okay, and it's not. Is it letting me play? Maybe it's taking a long time to load. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it's already running. That's why. Okay. So if I run. Okay, now it's not. The gravity is not like too strong. And you could make an easy platformer with this. And obviously you could use like better sprites and things than the ones I use. But yeah, it's very, very simple start for like a platformer.
Cool.
And there you go.
Very cool.
So do you have any other like small tools that maybe people could use, or RPG Maker?
Oh, pardon?
There's RPG Maker that I've heard does good things.
Right. I haven't used this. A friend of mine used this to make how do I call them in English? Otome games. So it's kind of like how do you call this? But basically, it's the type where you interact with characters, right? And then typically, like a good example is type of like it's the type of like anime dating game where it's like you have like I don't know, like 8 guys, and then you interact with them, and then you collect hearts. If people know what I'm talking about, you collect hearts with them, and then eventually, like, the
Yeah.
situation evolves, and then like you get an ending with them, you know. But my friend did a murder mystery type of game. Like, she didn't go for like a romance genre; she went for murder mystery, and it's really cool because she drew her own characters and like she wrote the dialogues, and it was using RPG Maker to do that kind of game. So if you guys want to make a story based type of interactive game that's kind of like that too, like anime. How do I say this? Anime
Yeah.
interactive
Yeah.
story game, then RPG Maker could be good. But this one, I looked at it. This one is more used for like traditional RPG. So like actually like you create your own character, and then like you have the platform, right, and then they go on an adventure, and then they have to level up, and et cetera, et cetera. So that one's more. This one, I think it's more traditional RPG, more like typical RPG type
Yeah.
of game.
Yeah. I kind of
Yeah.
looked at the. It's like the old school kind
Right.
of
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
You have like you explore world and then like you encounter enemies and you
Mhm.
have like three characters and you have to attack them with certain moves and stuff.
Right, right, and turn-based system type of
Yeah,
thing. Right,
exactly.
right, right. So this would be a tool. I haven't had time to explore it.
Yeah, me neither.
We didn't have time to explore, but it's okay. It's a free tool. Usually RPG Maker costs money, quite a lot of money too. So this one's free. We're gonna link you all the links to. The other one I was looking at is called Inform 7. It's the other one, like the text-based. I was looking at all the text-based stuff because I was talking about Twine, and this one is I don't know how to explain this. So I'm gonna link a tutorial, but basically it's kind of like you're gonna have two windows, and you set the environment and the setting first, and this program kind of does the rest for you in a way. So like you're gonna write, like, for example, the classroom, or what is it? McDonald is a restaurant. So like the platform will know right away that McDonald is a setting. Like it's gonna like take it as a room. So there's like certain keywords like room, and this is like an object, or this is like an inventory. Like it's able to classify things for you, so it can create kind of like an interactive visual novel type of thing, type of game. Sorry, type of game with this.
Mm. Okay.
It's a little different from Twine. I personally am more familiar and more comfortable with Twine's platform. But there's also, I found like great tutorials on YouTube with Inform 7 too. So yes,
All right. Well, there's a bunch of
those are the
other
ones.
ones here, obviously, on
Right,
this website. I think I linked it already on resources. And you could, explore and, like, maybe find things that
right.
you might fancy and, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
have fun.
We d- yeah, we just wanted to show you guys that there's like a part, because a lot of people, like what am I trying to say? Most people use Unity and or in real, like in the big engines, but there's nothing wrong with like these smaller, um more beginner friendly, introductory type of game making tools. They're also really great, and a lot of people can make really really nice games out of them too.
Yeah,
Like even if,
exactly.
let's say, you're an advanced game maker, there's nothing wrong with exploring like a more beginner type of tool, because
Yeah.
you never know, you can make something really cool out of it.
And especially if you want to, like,
Mm-hmm.
so for if for example you're more experienced, but like for a game jam, you would want to do like a more story based game. But
Right.
obviously, like, if you're doing a game on Unity and with a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
dialogue and stuff, you might not have the time to do everything, and so to make to cut on like wasting time like
Mm-hmm.
that, like doing all the coding and things like that. Maybe it's better to use a simpler tool like Twine that's more like specified for that kind of game. And
Right.
so yeah,
So if it's more like, if forever you want to work on an individual project in the future, like by yourself, and you don't want to go into Unity and like make your own asset and everything, a lot of these have built-in things already for like smaller teams of game makers. So it's just nice to like show you guys different varieties and options you could use.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you guys
Yeah.
enjoyed. I'm sorry if like I'm not like very experienced with these
Same
like
here,
tools
same
here,
here.
especially
Same
Construct
here.
3 because I tried it like earlier and I think I forgot everything. So but Yeah,
No,
I
Rose, you
hope.
did great. You did great. You did great.
Well, I forgot most of it, so I'm sorry about that. And
It's a Unity. That's why.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope you guys like learned and enjoyed. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
tomorrow
Thank you very
we'll
much
do our
for
last
listening.
workshop, and
Mm-hmm.
I hope to see you guys there.
Unity, and we'll end our workshop week with sound effects and music composition. So like, come join us tomorrow if you want to learn about those.